What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Elden Ring walkthrough. We are going to cover a lot in this episode. So first things first, we're going to go back to the Cathedral of the Forsaken. If you remember, last time we tried to progress there, and I showed you that there was a barrier there that would not unlock until we beat Morgoth. So beware. We're about to engage in some very sketchy platforming that is difficult to pull off. So any runes that you have in your possession right now, I currently have 6,000, whatever you have, I would spend whatever you're not comfortable with losing. I'll put it that way because in all likelihood, you are going to be losing runes here. Just saying, because there is some sketchy jumping and whatnot that we have to do. After we do this, I'm going to be hitting up some other dungeons. If you remember, we unlocked the catacombs here at the bottom of the subterranean shunning grounds. We're going to be hitting that up. And then I said there's this grave site that we passed up before. And I was like, we want to be a little bit more powerful before we do this. And so we're going to hit that up as well. So jam-packed episode today. So what we're going to do is, you notice there are these little tents. There's items behind here that you can't break these tents though to get the items. What you got to do is you got to lure this guy into doing his madness attack, and then the madness attack that he does busts the tent open. And there's a few of these in here. So once he does his madness attack, you can get this. This is the nomadic merchant's armor set. And so this is a graveyard for a bunch. These are all once were merchants. They seem to have been slaughtered down here. Not quite sure why, but the ones that we interact with in the world are, you know, the lone survivors. So you see much more have fallen than are still alive. So there's another one of these here. We need to have him break open the tent for us. So there's loot back there. Watch out for your madness buildup, of course. If that thing builds all the way up, it is quite dangerous. So we got an Eye of Yellow, whatever. I don't know how you pronounce that, but anyway. So let's see, some more yellow embers down here, and then we can go down this plank. Gold rune 11. So another this might be our first drop. I think before we've been going down just stairs and stuff. So what you want to do is you want to position your camera so it is directly in line of where you're dropping down to, and then just walk straight off, and you should drop where you're kind of targeting. Up here is another item. Got the Frenzied Cookbook 2. This gives us access to craft Frenzy Flame Stones. So it basically allows you to do that frenzy attack that they were doing to us, those enemies back there. Allows you to do it without having the spell to cast. You got some hefty beast bones. Okay, so here is a lone living kind of former merchant, I guess you could say, playing his sad song. I'm going to let him live just because I don't have the heart to kill the poor guy. So you can't hardly see it, but there is this ledge right below us. This is where it gets precarious, and this is where it's going to take some time to learn this, but it is what it is. There's no other way down here. And this is very highly tip-top secret. So, yeah, but let me just say, getting all the way down here, if you're going for all achievements, this is required for a secret ending. So I'm just going to put it this way. If you don't want the secret ending, you don't have to go through all this, but if you want that secret ending for the achievement, you're gonna have to do this, and it's gonna take you a few tries, which is why I said spend all the runes that you want that you don't mind losing. Anyway, so what you want to do, the first step is you just kind of walk off the edge here, and you're gonna drop, and you should land on this platform. That is step 1. So step 2, you can kind of see a little platform, sort of the one sticking out in the bottom middle of my screen. You're going to want to do a jump, not a running jump, but you're going to want to do kind of not like a sprinting with the sprint button jump, but you're going to want to do like a kind of a fast walking start off the edge. And it really is just a matter of aiming for it and just getting a feel for kind of how long you have to hold the button down for, or the control stick down to land on it. So that's the next jump. Now, the next jump is going to be the one that's at the bottom right-hand side of my screen. Same deal as the one before, is you want to get kind of a fast walking start off the edge. Hold the control stick forward until you kind of feel you've covered enough distance to land on it. And then I prefer to have my camera positioned kind of like right here. I think that's the best way, but just find what works for you, and it might take you a few tries. So here we go. So there we go. Barely landed on the edge there. This is our last jump. We want to land on this one here that has the item on it. And if you fall all the way down, it's a fall to your death. So just so you know. So same as the ones before, just kind of want to push forward, do kind of a fast walking start, and hold forward until you feel like you've covered enough distance to actually land on that platform. So, all right, there we go. We get the Inescapable Frenzy incantation. And you see there's one more loot behind one of these tents. So that means that there's going to be another enemy that's going to help us bust that thing open. So we get the Fingerprint Stone Shield. This is arguably the best shield in the game. It is definitely the best great shield of the game. And depending on what you want to use shields for, it may or may not be the best shield of the game. So let's check it out. Look at this. 100% physical, 77% magic, 81% fire, 79 lightning, 75 holy, 81 guard boost. I mean, this is a tanky shield. Passive effects causes madness buildup on your enemies if you use it. It comes with the shield bash skill. If you level this thing up, I mean, it's impenetrable. The thing is it weighs 29, so you're probably going to be heavy load using this thing unless you really level up your endurance and use some talismans to boost your equipment load capacity. But this thing is massive, and it hits like a truck, and it blocks literally everything. So pretty much best shield in the game, depending on what you use shields for. Best great shield as far as, you know, tanking damage, and it actually deals quite a bit of damage too. So this enemy is actually in disguise. He's sitting right here, and you have to kind of wake him up. I'm going to shoot him with an arrow just to say, hey, come at me, bro. There we go. And we want him to blow up this tent right here. Kind of lure him to get far enough over here without... You don't want to kill him, because if you kill him, he's not going to be able to do his attack to blow this thing up. And I know it's a little bit annoying, but it is what it is. All right, hopefully he'll hit it from here. Did he hit it? No, he did not hit it. Just short of hitting it. There we go. Do it right here. Boom. Got it. Okay, now you want to take him out before he can kill you. There we go. And so we get the Mikela's Needle Note. We're going to read that in just a minute, guys. First, we're going to head on down all the way. So if you take these stairs all the way down, right here, you have a floor. And now we can finally jump down to the bottom without taking lethal damage. So, hop. And the floor breaks. And we go all the way down, but you should not take any damage. We have a Site of Grace down here. So let us pop the Site of Grace. And we have our friend Hyetta. This is her final spot. So this is assuming you've given her all 4 of the Shabriri grapes, which we have so far in this walkthrough. Just a quick recap. So you follow her all over Liurnia. The first Shabriri grape you get here after fighting Godric. The first location that you see her is right here. The second Shabriri grape you get is in these like ruins, I believe. And then her next spot is like right over here. The third Shabriri grape you get over here at the Revenger Shack. And then her third location is right by this bridge. And then her fourth location is here in the Bellum Church. And then the fourth Shabriri grape that we got, actually that one's called a Fingerprint grape, you get by killing the invader at the Church of Inhibition. And as of the last patch, they fixed a bug that was keeping him from spawning in for certain people, but he should spawn in for you now if you hadn't been before. And you kill him and you get that fourth grape, you can give it to her here, and then when you give it to her there, she will spawn here, which is the end of her quest line.
So you're here as well, are you? I realized as we've talked, I'll be a maiden, and you, surely a lord. Go to the door ahead. After divesting yourself of your possessions, it will surely open, and the 3 fingers will welcome you. May the flame of chaos find purchase within you.
Okay.
Go to the door. It will surely...
So real talk here, guys. Okay, so you can go through this door. And you're going to have to bear with me for a minute because I got some splaining to do. You can go through this door. The way that you go through this door is you unequip all of your armor, and then you can go in. If you go in, you're going to be greeted by the 3 fingers. The 3 fingers are going to curse you with the flame of chaos, the frenzied flame, and that's going to change your appearance. Your eyes are going to be glowing yellow. You're going to have these burn marks all over your body. And what it will do is you're now kind of possessed by the flame of chaos. So what that does is this unlocks a secret ending known as the flame of frenzied chaos ending. I forget what it's called exactly, but what it does is it puts you on the path towards that ending. So it doesn't end the game right here, but what it does is it puts you on the kind of chaos ending path. So we go through the rest of the game just as normal. You get to the end, and that will be your ending. Now, what this does is if you speak to the three fingers right now and become, Lord of Chaos or whatever, this will lock you out of selecting any of the other endings of the game. So there's a total of 6 endings. If you choose this path right now, what will happen is this will be the one ending that you will have access to at the end, regardless of what else you do in the game. Now, if you do not do this and you get to the end, you're going to have, and you follow everything in this guide, there are 5 other endings that when you get to the end of the game, you'll get to choose which ending you want, aside from this one. If you choose this path, this will be the only one available to you at the end of the game. Now, all that said, there is one exception. You can choose to become the Lord of Chaos or whatever, and choose to accept the Frenzied Flame right here. And there is a way to undo it, which will then allow you to have access to the other endings. However, when you undo it, it will lock you out of getting this ending. So if you choose to get the Frenzied Flame right now and you're like, oh crap, I don't want this and I want to get the other endings, what you can do is, we're going to check our notes here. We just picked up the, what's it called? Mikela's Needle. Note written by nomadic merchants succinctly detailing knowledge acquired. The Empyrean Mikela crafted a needle to resist the influence of outer gods. Those who have inherited the flame of frenzy yet wish not to become its lord would do well to seek Mikela's needle. So what that means is if you do the frenzied flame right now, and let's say by the end of the game, sometime before the end of the game, you're like, okay, I don't want this frenzied flame ending. I want one of the other endings. What you can do is you can get Mikela's needle, which involves doing a side quest with an NPC called Millicent. We have not met Millicent yet. She resides in Caelid. We will be doing Millicent's quest. We will be obtaining Mikela's needle. And so what that will do is if you decide to use Mikela's needle by the end of the game, you will be able to undo this frenzied flame thing. Now, if you choose not to participate in the frenzied flame right now, then Mikela's needle is not really going to do anything for you anyways. All that it does is it undoes this flame of chaos that'll be just bestowed upon you if you choose to go through this door right now. So, what I'm going to do for this playthrough is I am not going to take the frenzied flame right now. I am going to take the normal path of the game, and I will still be showing you, if you decide to go through the door, you're going to see a cutscene and all this good stuff. But I will still be covering how to get Mikela's needle should you decide to back out by the end of the game. So you will have all options available to you. I'm going to choose not to do this right now just because I don't want to. And I don't want my eyes glowing yellow for the rest of the playthrough until we get Mikela's needle, because you can't get Mikela's needle till pretty close to the end of the game. I just don't want that look, and I don't want the burn marks all over me just because they kind of give me the heebie-jeebies. And so, just so you know, this ending will be required for a trophy and an achievement at some point. So what you can do is you can either do 3 playthroughs of the game, 1 playthrough each to unlock each of the 3 separate endings that give you a trophy if you want all achievements. So one of your playthroughs is going to have to involve doing this. Or you can get to the very end of the game and you can actually save after the last boss before you trigger the ending. And then at that point, you can decide, which ending do I want? Do I want one of the 5 that, being, quote unquote normal gives you access to? Or at that point in the game, after you've killed the last boss before you've triggered the ending, you can decide, hey, I want the Frenzied Flame ending. And you can always come back here and then, submit to the Lord of Chaos and get your Frenzied Flame ending. Other implications. If you get the Frenzied Flame, let's say if right now, if you were to submit to the Frenzied Flame and the 3 fingers, etc., go through that door, Hayeta is going to become your maiden. Melina is no longer going to be your maiden, and in fact, there's actually a cutscene later on in the game where Melina is going to chastise you for, making the wrong choice. She's going to basically go away from you and say you screwed up, blah blah blah, and be mad at you for choosing the path that you chose. And Hayeta will be your maiden instead. And Hayeta will actually bestow upon you a seal that actually boosts your madness-based incantations. So if you're like a straight-up madness build, you're going to want that Flame of Frenzy because you're going to get probably the best seal in the game for casting those types of incantations. So anyway, I hope I explained everything succinctly. I hope I've made everything crystal clear. If not, leave a comment and ask any questions and I'll answer it to the best of my ability. So anyway, as I said, there are 3 endings that will give you a trophy. This is one of the endings that will give you a trophy. You can choose to do it now or not. And if you choose to do it now and go all the way through the end of the game as the, the Frenzied Flame, Lord of Chaos guy or girl, then you're going to be locked out of the other endings unless you do all of Millicent's side quests and get the Mikela's Needle, which will allow you to reverse the effects of the Frenzied Flame. But I should add, if you use the needle to reverse the effects, it is a permanent reversal. You can't go back. Once you reverse it with a needle, you can't go back and then be the Lord of Frenzy again. So just keep that in mind. Use the needle that reverses it, and you can't go back. So hope all that makes sense. I know that's a lot to kind of absorb at one time. But anyway, here we go. So that's that. I'm not going to do it because I don't care about the seal that I could get from her, and I don't want my eyes to be glowing yellow madness, and I don't want to have scars all over my body for the rest of my playthrough. So I'm going to forgo it. But just know, when we get to the end of the game, I'm going to kind of rehash everything and say, hey, right now, if you want that Flame of Frenzy ending, you got to go do the thing if you haven't done the thing already. So when we get to the end, I'll recap everything. But, here we go. Fake wall. We're gonna press onwards now. Super secret fake wall with a super secret rune arc behind it, and another super secret fake wall behind the other super secret fake wall. Very easy to miss. So this is actually going to take us to a area that we have not explored yet. It's another one of the underground areas. This is the Deep Root Depths, I believe it's called. Dark Root Depths. So this is an area that we're going to get to in another way as part of Ronnie's side quest. But this part that we're in now, this specific part of the level, and I don't have the map unlocked yet, unfortunately, so I can't show you exactly where we're at. This particular part of the map right here, this side of Grace, the root facing cliffs, the only way you can access this part of the map is by dropping through, or we just dropped through, by being in the Frenzied Flame prospection site of Grace and then rolling through those walls. This is the only way you can get to this little perch here. And there's a few items we can get on the way down. You can summon Torrent in here. I actually recommend doing it. And this is another area where there's some very sketchy platforming that you have to do to get down. Otherwise, you're going to fall and get yourself killed. Actually, did not mean to drop down there. I want to get back up. There we go. I find this easier to do on horseback because you do have the double jump ability. So first thing we're going to do is going to drop down here. There's going to be a couple ants and then their queen. Take out the ants. Don't fall off the edge. But if you remember anything about the other part that had these ants, if you take out these queens, you get a lot of goodies. So in this case, we get a Newman's Rune, which is an insane amount of runes if you eat that thing, and you get a rune arc. So what we're going to do now is we're going to go up this route here. And this is another place where you're very likely to fall to your death. I'm not doubting your skill or anything, but it doesn't matter how skilled you are. It is very easy to fall here. Especially if you're going for all this loot. Smithing 6 here. And so I would recommend spending any runes that you're not comfortable with losing. Just because this is one of those places. Hate to say, it is one of those places. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drop down here on this larger kind of route. And then we're going to carry on our way. And there's a bunch of ants kind of on the way here. So I'm going to take this one out. Boom. And there's really nothing on this platform. But over there is something on that platform. So we're going to get it. So take that ant out. Jump over here on this route. If I get through this without dying, it is literally a miracle. I'm not kidding. Formic rock here. It's crafting material. Get rid of this ant. All right, where to go? Where to go? I'm actually going to do this part off of horseback. Okay. And is there an item back here? I want to say there is. Yes, there is. This is where it's gonna get sketchy, guys. Oh. Okay, now I'm gonna have to get on my horse and jump up to that. This is stuff that I'd normally skip, but this is a walkthrough, so I can't cop out. I want to be facing forward here, so I can just jump straight. There we go. That's about as good as I'm gonna get, I feel. Whoa! I told you guys. I told you guys. I was hoping for that miracle, but alas, did not happen. Okay. And so once we get down to kind of the main area, I'm going to unlock the first kind of main site of Grace that you would get to if you were just getting here the normal way. And we're not going to fully explore this area yet. A couple reasons why. First reason why is because we can't even fully do everything here until we have some stuff that we don't have yet from Ronnie's quest line when we get deeper into her quest. And for two, there are some items that we don't have. Namely, there's a certain torch that you can get in Caelid, I believe. That's going to make our lives way easier when we get here later. So, yeah, there's stuff that we're not going to have access to, and there's stuff that are going to make it's going to make our lives easier later. So, the twofold reason for why we're not doing this quite yet. All right, what's the best way to do this, honestly? My runes are right there. Super sketchy. Super duper sketchy! All right, those runes are gone. Sorry, guys. This, as I said, this is really tough. Now, I will also say that might be the first time that I made it all the way down to the Frenzied Flame without falling to my death. So, while this isn't going so hot, I will at least take the win where I can get it from not falling to my death on the way down to the Frenzied Flame. All right, so this is going to be it. And it's all for this piece of loot that's like really semi out of reach. And isn't exactly worth it, in my opinion. But since, oh, are you kidding me? Are you freaking kidding me right now? I think there's an easier way to get there, and I'm just being dumb, and I'm like not recognizing the fact that it's actually completely not that hard to get this piece of loot. And I'm pretty sure it's like a low tier gold rune or something like that, or maybe like a tier 5 smithing stone. I don't know. Something that I would normally skip, but I don't want to skip it because this is a walkthrough, and I want to show you guys how to get all the goodies, even if I don't particularly think it's all that worth it. You know what I mean? Okay. Yeah, I think I can just go this way, dismount, and then drop like right here, right? Yeah. Yeah, drop on this thing. Yeah, this is the sensible way. I think it's a gold rune 8. This is the way that you're supposed to get it. But I was already up there, and I had already jumped somewhere else, and it's making it harder than it needed to be on myself. All right, so that's it for right there. I've already killed that ant once. I don't need to kill it again. Another rune, I don't know if this is a rune, but another item up here. So don't fall off the edge if you get this. Another gold rune 8. All right, there's some ants up here. Honestly, I think it's easier to fight these things on foot when there's a bunch of them together like this. And watch me die again. There we go. Gold rune 5 and some dew-kissed herbas. Definitely worth the risk. Just making sure there's nothing back here. Yeah, okay. And nothing else over here. Okay, cool. So our next stop is not over the edge. Dadgummit. Man, as good as the drop down to the Frenzied Flame with this is going, equally as awful. Perks of doing these episodes live and uncut. No need to kill these things again. I don't need to linger around here. See if I can grab my 0 runes here. This is what I meant. This is the big tree branch I wanted to jump down on before I just completely dove straight off the edge. And there's some big ants on here. Fighting them all at once, not the best idea. So I'm going to use my super duper awesome barrage skill here. And check this out. I'm just like rapid fire taking these things out. So I don't have to worry about them later. Not fight 4 of them at once. I've died enough times. I don't need to die again to fighting 4 ants at the same time. I'm out of FP. So these last 2 are just going to get the normal treatment. There we go. Item up here. And again, as I said, all of this stuff is inaccessible from taking the normal route to get here. The only way to get all this stuff that I just got is by taking the secret route through the Flame of Frenzy chamber that we were just in. I may as well go ahead and get my FP back. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the ground level, unlock the first side of grace that you would normally unlock from getting here the normal way. And then we're going to get out of here. Because as I said, it's not time yet for us to go through this. Because we can't even do the whole thing anyway. Yet. All right, I want to say there's another piece of loot over here somewhere. Yeah, we're not doing that yet. We're going to do that when we come back here. But there is, yeah, that's the one I'm looking for. The one that's right in front of us. Double jump. Get over here. Smithing 6. And we are where we are headed next. We're going to ignore that Erd Tree avatar. There's a site of grace right over here. And that's going to be where we stop this area for now. So unlock this. See, we have 2. We have the one from the root-facing cliffs, and now we have the Great Waterfall Crest. So what we're going to do now is we're going to warp to the Landell Catacombs, an area that we unlock the site of grace here. This is at the very, very bottom of the subterranean shunning grounds. So we unlocked this episode, or we unlocked this area in that episode where we covered the subterranean shunning grounds. Down here we have the sleepy lobster, and over there the not so sleepy lobster. So we ran in here in that episode. We got this grace, and then we warped out. We did not take on this dungeon yet. So now it is time for us to do this dungeon. And again, this area is at the very, very, very bottom of the subterranean shunning grounds. So the area with the sewer pipes that you walk on top of, there's a way you can drop all the way to the bottom, and that's where we're at now. So this is another one of those dungeons that is very maze-like. You remember that other dungeon that we did? It was a catacombs, actually, where we had all those trap chests you had to warp through, and then you get to the end, and you know, it kind of loops around on itself, and there's rooms that look exactly the same, but it's a different room than the one you were in before. So the way that we marked them was the first lap that we do, we're going to mark these rooms with a prism stone. So we know, hey, these are the original rooms. And then when we get to the copy of the rooms and we see that we do not have a prism stone laid down, we know, okay, this is not the original room. This is a copy of the room that we were in the first time. It's not the same room. So this will help us tremendously with navigation. So I suggest you do the same. Lay a prism stone where I'm laying the prism stones, and it'll help you out enormously when you get further on through this dungeon. It really will help you, I promise. Because this dungeon intentionally tries to confuse you by taking around to places that you thought you've been before, and if you're none the wiser, you're gonna think that you were already in this room because it looks exactly the same, but yet it's actually a new part of the dungeon that you haven't explored yet. So it's very easy to get turned around, very easy to get lost, and so that's what I'm trying to guide you through here, laying down these stones, because it will actually help you out enormously. There's some dudes in here that are gonna try to grab you and barf on you and poison you, hug you. Ghost Glove, we're at 6. We're actually gonna get a grave 8 and a grave 9 in here, I believe, which would allow us, I think, to upgrade Lutel to 10 because we already have a tier 10 upgrade for spirit summons. Before I go on with that, circle around here. These guys are gonna blow themselves up. So get away before they blow themselves up. I'm not gonna take Lutel to plus 10 because there's gonna be a summon that we get later, not too much later, but later, that I want to take to plus 10 right away. And so I don't want to use my materials that might be limited on Lutel, since I'm not planning on using Lutel for the rest of the game. So yeah, what I did was I just shot that with an arrow to knock that pillar down. Actually, did I mark this room? I did not mark this room. Let me mark this room real quick, because there are the other rooms later on that look exactly like this. And let's see, I'm gonna mark this room too. Whoops, I accidentally chugged. Do not want to get poisoned. Mark this room. Take this pillar up. It takes you to a hidden spot. You remember these things. You know how to kill them. We killed a lot of them in the sub-trading stunning grounds. I start with a jump attack, do a special, follow up the special. That gets a stun. Do my critical, and then one more hit will get the kill. All right, up on this altar, we get the Crucible Scale Talisman, which it decreases your critical hit damage. So very useful in PvP if you're fighting someone who's trying to stagger you. And you can take this back down. All right, I'm going to do a plunging attack on it. Go down. There we go. Thank you. So if you got someone who's trying to get critical hits on you, you'll take less damage from those critical hits if you have that equipped. So now we're gonna go this way. More enemies in here. I think these guys get up, do they not? In any case, I'm gonna drop a stone right here, because there is another room later that looks exactly like this, so we want to know which one's which. Bad time to drop a stone. Ooh, I was not expecting that lunge. Ow. Oh my gosh. I don't know what my problem is here. Now, here we go. All right, got a grave 9. Some good stuff in here. We've marked this room off. Perfect. And so here is our first kind of indication that we're about to do a loop. So this was like the very first room we were in. We marked it with a stone. This, of course, has no stone, so we know this is, despite the fact that it looks identical, is a new room. So jump down here. Get your grave 9, or grave 8 rather. Take these guys out. And so we're going to leave this room unmarked because we don't want to get ourselves confused. You want to know, hey, this is the one that is the second one we've been to. The first one has the stone. Okay. So we're going to go this way. Turn right for starters. And pick this up. Just some root resins. Let's see. Now we want to head back the other way. Just go straight. This looks like the boss door, but again, we're on the other side of the dungeon. That looks identical to the main side of the dungeon, so this is not the boss. I think there's a guy that's going to ambush us here. Yes. So, same routine. Just be quick, because the other guy's going to try to come over and join the party. Took him out. Now we can fight the other one. Jump attack. Ah, I missed my special, but that's okay. Or I missed my critical, rather. Alright, so in here, got a Ghost 8 and a Gold Rune 11. Let me go ahead and re-up my FP here. Okay, so this takes us back to the copy of, like, the first room, and then we can now go the other direction, which is, I believe, the way forward. That's just a dead end for some loot. The way we just went. Let's see here. Is there anything in here? I don't think so. But we marked... Yeah, this is a copy of another room we marked with a stone. There's no stone in here. Another copy of a room that we marked with a stone. There's no stone in here. This is the room that had the exploding guys. And then at the end of this hallway, in the original section, there was a pillar. This is actually going to be our progression route. We're going to come back here, just kind of make a mental note of this room with the lowered pillar. And we're going to come back here. That's going to be our way forward. So for extra loot, we're going to go this way first. These guys are alive. Take them out. There's going to be another giant omen guy upstairs. So grave 8. So get the first step on him. And again, remember, we marked the original one of these rooms with a stone. So, dang it, my follow-up on the special missed. There we go. Second jump attack hits. We get the stagger. So remember that the first copy of this room we marked with stones. There's no stones here, so we know that this is the second room. We can actually go down here and drop down again. And this is the third room that looks just like this. So for those of you keeping count, because remember the second room we dropped down had a way to go that way and a way to go this way. But this only has one option. So we know this is the third copy of the same room. But fortunately, this is just going to loop us right back around to where we need to be anyway. So we don't need to drop stones or anything to keep our navigation going. Trying really hard. So in here we got a grave 8. And this is the third copy of this room. Got another grave 8. And here we've got a trap waiting for us. Wants to come down, give us a hug. You notice every single time I attempt to do the same exact combo on these things. All right, and this gives us a grave 9. I'm not sure if we also got a ghost 9 in here, but we did get a grave 9. So what we want to do here is we jump through this window. Takes us right back to here. Oh, there's one guy that we didn't kill. And if we go backwards and to go this way, this is our pillar that I said, hey, remember this room. So we can ride the pillar up. I don't believe there's any loot up here. Yep. This takes us here. We're going to go this way. We see an imp. So because we see new enemies, we know this is not a place we've been yet, because I think these are our first imps to actually come across in this dungeon. right, I'm just going to pull my shield out here and do guard counters on these things. Ha! And then do not drop down here. That is a bottomless pit, so just take these stairs down. Take the ladder down. And up here we have our switch to unlock the boss door. In addition to the switch, we got some sacramental buds for crafting. So, boss door unlocked. And look at this. Right below us, we have our stone. So we know this is the beginning of the dungeon right by the boss door. So we can just go through here. And we know this is our stone. We're on the right path. There's the boss door. I'm going to rest up, get my flasks back. Because we're right here next to the site of grace anyway, so why not? And this boss is going to have, is a blood-oriented boss, is going to have 2 bleed dogs with it. So this fight is quite lethal. I'm going to summon immediately after getting in the door. And these bleed dogs, man, they will take you out. And this guy, he's got some pretty nasty bleed attacks. You see he's already got that bleed going on me. I'm going to try to take out the dogs first, but you got to be fast because this guy will charge after you. So I'm kind of waiting. And he's got the projectile blood attacks there. I'm kind of waiting for Lutel to take some of the heat off me. That would be great. Here we go. Lutel's going after the dogs first. Oh, I got both of them in one hit. That was beautiful. That was glorious. And this guy, dude, his blood attacks are for real. So don't underestimate his blood attacks. He will get the bleed on you if you're not careful. And Lutel, man, getting bled. I just got bled because he does the Swarm of Flies attack. That also does bleed. He's got the blood flame attacks as well. And he's got the projectiles. So he can be, he's pretty squishy, but he does have some legit attacks that will get you if you're not looking out. So we got the Lord of Blood's Exaltation Talisman from him. Actually pretty solid if you're going for a bleed build, or even if you're not going for a bleed build, if you have a weapon that does bleed, such as the weapon we have on now. What it does is as soon as you get bleed on an enemy, or if an enemy does bleed on you, either or, just bleed has to take effect on somebody in the encounter. It will increase your attack power by 20% right there. So as soon as bleed goes off on somebody, your attack power gets boosted by 20%. So especially if you're using like a bleed build and you are able to like instantly get bleed off on whoever you're fighting against, I mean, that's basically a free 20% boost to your attack power. So pretty solid. I might end up equipping it at some point. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. Okay, so that's that. Now, we're going to cover a lot in this episode, as I said. I owe you guys, since I didn't have an episode ready for y'all yesterday. We're going to work back here to the Auriza side tomb. And I mentioned that there's this dungeon right here. It's a grave type dungeon. And I was like, I pointed it out before doing the capital, but I was like, we're going to wait till after the capital to come back here for when we're stronger. And you will see why. It is not as much the dungeon itself as it is the boss of the dungeon. And you'll see exactly what I mean when we get there. Let's see. So I'm going to, call Torrent. And I'm going to go see the Great Bear in front of us. I'm going to go behind it, and it should leave me alone. And here we're going straight ahead to this grave site. And you'll be glad that you're coming here with the +9 Bloodhounds rather than a +6, and you're going to be probably 15 levels stronger than you were before. This place is... And more specifically, the boss is pretty sketchy. I'm going to take my rainbow stones off. And depending on how we're doing on time, if I can't get the boss in the first try, I might leave him for the next episode. But I'm gonna at least attempt the boss once. But I think by the time we're through here, we're already going to be pushing an hour on this episode. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes. All right. So, Site of Grace down here. And use your runes, ladies and gentlemen. Use your runes. This is another very risky spot where there are those spiky chariots of doom that will kill you very quickly if you're not careful. And if you die, your runes are at risk. Spend everything you can. That's all I'm going to say. Spend everything you can. I'm going to put this one to Dex. Leave me with 446, level 99. I can stand to lose 446 runes if things go south right here. So not a big deal. I'm going to use a stone sword key here. There is a weapon behind here. Beware, there is a basilisk ambush. There are lots of basilisks in this particular dungeon. Not a fan of the basilisks, if y'all know me at all. But they're here. Be careful, that smoke, if it gets all the way up, you're dead. Oh, snap. Oh, snap. Ooh. Ooh, I have an item that'll take that build-up away. No, I don't have an item. I thought I did. Oh, yeah, that's crafting. That's not my inventory. Here we go. 6 of them. Rejuvenate and boluses. That will take the build-up away. And there are other basilisks in this place. We get the golden epitaph. I think it's a faith-based straight sword. Golden epitaph. Here it is. And it has last rites. Raise epitaph to grant the effect of the sacred order to yourself and allies in the vicinity. Particularly effective at laying to rest those who live in death. So enchants your weapon with holy damage and quite deadly for enemies who are weak against that. So this part, run. Do not stop running. Run. You're going to see the chariot spawn and duck off to your left. Wait for it to go. Whoops, I missed it passing. As soon as it passes, you're going to want to run right past it. And I was a little bit late. I want to make sure that I have enough time. So what you're going to want to do is as soon as it passes, run. And you see that hole right in front of us? You're going to want to drop right down that hole. Don't go down that bridge in the middle. Just run straight down the hole. There's actually more basilisks down here that are going to spawn. You take the bait. And there they are to greet you. 3 of them. Fortunately, I was able to take 2 of them out pretty quickly. And there's another one over here, I believe. Yep, number 4. As long as you are expecting the surprise attack, it's not as bad. So up here, more basilisks. As you can see, jump attacks work quite well against them. Avoid the smoke. I'm going to kind of wait for him to jump over here or wait for the smoke to dissipate. There we go. Get out of the smoke. Get rid of that Death Blight buildup. Ghost 5. Is there another one over here? Yes, there is. Okay. So do not go forward too fast because there's going to be chariots rolling down here. You see there's 2 of them kind of running next to each other. Now, I'm going to show you a trick that's going to make your life a million times easier. I hope you have either the Margit Shackle or the Mog Shackle. I'm going to equip Margit Shackle. Check this out. So right here, use Margit's Shackle. And you're going to see eventually another one's going to spawn like right in front of us and they're going to crash. Watch this. Kaboom! And the other one comes down. Kaboom! You get Ash of War, Holy Ground, and the Tree Sentinel armor set. I believe this is my end-game armor set in my first character. It's quite heavy, so I won't even be able to equip it yet without being heavy load. But just so you know, that is it for the chariots. The chariots are now gone. They're gone forever. So you don't have to deal with them anymore in this dungeon. And I'm going to show you the mechanism of why that works. Because what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to work your way all the way through this dungeon. I mean, I'm going to circle back over here real quick because there's an item that we did not get before. And I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do. And I'm going to show you why what we did just worked. Why what we did just now works. So this is where we dropped down. We ran, dropped down here. So, you know, you can stand right here and you're actually going to be kind of caught in between 2 chariots. And if you're crafty, you might be able to run up here. It's really tough. I think you're supposed to drop down there because you're caught between this one here and it's really hard to get over here if you're not free and clear. So I'm going to show you what you're supposed to do. And then I'm going to show you why what we just did works. And it'll all hopefully all make sense. So what you're supposed to do, you're supposed to come down here, kind of bobbing and weaving between those two that were kind of rolling next to each other. You see they were kind of offset, but there was one rolling on this side, there was one rolling up on this side, and you're supposed to like bob and weave between the two and then get all the way down to the bottom. You stand right here and you're supposed to be safe, but then there's one that spawns right there that's going to come straight at you, and then you have to like really quickly go over here while not getting hit, and there's a spot for you to drop down right here while you're under duress. So like you have those coming from down there, you have this one coming from this side, and then you're supposed to run over here real quick, know exactly where to drop down in the exact right spot without getting hit by that chariot. I just saved you from all of that trouble, guys. So what you want to do now is I'm going to show you the route to get through here. You can drop down here, and I'm going to show you what happened, why those all crashed against each other when we did the shackle. So now you want to drop off to this one. And again, I'm just panning my camera straight up, so all I have to do is walk straight up to hit the kind of cross beam. We'll do this side first, because this will loop us back to the top. Now, you would normally not want to do this if your chariots were still going, but since our chariots are already gone, I'm going to do this side first, because this will loop us back on top, and we'll be able to take the other side too. Basilisk, surprise attack. Where's the third one? Okay. Yep, there's another one. Another basilisk. Vulgar militia ashes. Those are the tiny little dudes with the hacksaw kind of weapons. All right. So now we can climb up this ladder. And this is not the main puzzle solution path. If you were still dealing with the chariots, it's kind of a side path just for some extra loot. I'm going to take us on the main kind of puzzle solving route next, and I'm going to show you what went down and kind of the normal way of solving this, because maybe you don't have Margit's shackle handy, and maybe you got to do this the normal way. So I'm going to show you how to do this the normal way. So you got hop up here. Now you can drop down, and that's where that thing's going to be rolling back and forth. And so that's why you want to do that route second if your chariots are still active. Now the first way you want to go is drop down here, and then here, and then here, and all the way to the bottom. Just walk straight forward. And then over here, you're going to have a skeleton. So I'm actually going to walk over to the other side so the skeleton's like not right in front of me. And we got another path over here. And this is how you would normally solve the puzzle if you didn't have that shackle trick. Did I miss any loot over here? No. Okay. So normally you'd come out here and there would be a chariot rolling. Oh, geez. And let me go all the way to the bottom just to make sure that I'm not missing something. Really? To the side and here. All right, got the Crucible Feather Talisman. This increases your dodge rolling ability at the expense of you take extra damage. So you have better rolling capabilities, but you're taking more damage as a result. So, Yeah, I should have done that fire pillar thing first. But I'll show you something. So normally when you first get here, if you didn't do the shackle, this is actually going to be down. It's not going to be blowing in this direction. So I'm actually going to pull out my bow and shoot this thing. Got the Grave Glowwort 6. So normally it's going to be blowing like that. And you may or may not decide to hit it. But let's say you decide to hit it, it'll go up, and then it'll be blowing out this way. So that pillar is the key to this place. And I'll show you what I mean. So we're going to go all the way down, turn around. And then we're going to ride this elevator. I think it's over here, right? Yeah, we're going to ride this elevator up. There's nothing below the elevator. So just ride it up. And there's our friendly pillar. And so with it oriented the way that it is, it's like blocking our way forward, right? And so your instinct is going to be, okay, I'm going to hit it again. Knock it down so I can progress. Right? So you move over here, and then you drop down over here. Great Dragonfly Head and a Grave Glowwort. And so this allows you to drop down over here. Now, let me show you something. You don't want the pillar to be down. You want it to be up. Even though it'll be spraying fire down this direction, you want the pillar to be up. And here's why. Watch it as it goes up. So you see that light? That light is what spawns one of the chariots. And so if that light is pointing in that direction, I'm going to show you where it ends up. So as soon as this fire stops blowing, I'm going to go this way. Hide out right here. And go this way. And drop down right here. So you see this light right here? This light is what spawned the chariot that crashes the other two. Right? And see that light? It's blowing, or it's shining through here. So by default, that pillar is down. If you mark it up and spawn all the chariots here, this one's going to spawn here, and then the two that are normally patrolling down here are going to crash into it like they did. Now, let me show you something. For whatever reason, I don't know why. Let me put Margit's shackle back on. Whenever you use the shackle... Whoops. That's not what I wanted. Whenever you use the shackle, look, it moves the pillar. So by default, when you walk into this dungeon, the pillar is down, right? And so these things are rolling freely up and down, up and down, up and down. And you got to dodge them, bob and weave, and then the game expects you to go all the way down there, drop down, blah, 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 go through all that stuff that we just went to just so you can get around and hit the pillar again and move it up. And so that way, when you move it up and then you drop back down out here, then at the very end, this one will spawn. And at the very end, these two will crash into it. But all you got to do at the very beginning, you could just use Margit's shackle and it controls this pillar and boom, you're done right from the very beginning. So I just saved you guys a ton of trouble. At least those of you who have Margit's shackle. You're welcome. Pretty savvy trick though, huh? Really saves you a lot of headache. So now finally why I saved this dungeon for so long. I'm gonna get my shield on the buckler, which some of y'all might know what this means. I've got the buckler on. Can only mean one thing, right? Got some skellies in here. I'll give this boss 1, maybe 2 attempts in this video. If I can't get it, I'm going to save it for next time. And I don't need to fight these guys. Don't need to do it. What I do need to do is have my physic flask ready so I can summon as soon as I get in here. So we got double Crucible Knights, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Elden Ring. So, of course, I want my summon in here to take the aggro off of one of them. I like to fight this guy first. I like to fight the spear guy first. That's just me. So the goal is you want to take one of them out before Lutel's gone. And I wish Lutel would be on the other one. I'm going to kind of wait around and wait for Lutel. There we go. So you want to take one of them out before Lutel's gone. All right, this one's already transforming, which is fine. I just want to take this guy out. Hopefully Lutel's on the other one now. And here we go. It's parry time, ladies and gentlemen. Parry time. Or, you know, whatever way that you prefer to take these things out. I prefer to take them out with parries. I know not everybody's the same, but I like to do parries on these things. And so that's why I wanted to do the capital first. I wanted to show you, because until the capital, we had not seen the spear variety of the Crucible Knights. I wanted to do the capital so you've seen a spear variety first, and it'll make fighting two of these at the same time a bit more manageable. This took me about an hour or two to do on my first playthrough because I wasn't as good at parrying these things as I am now. Dang it, I want my spear guy, not you. I don't want you. I want spear guy. Because I don't want both of them transformed to second phase at the same time. There we go. Come after me, boo. There we go. Come at me, bro. You're almost dead. You are dead. And I still got... Oh, Lutel just died. But now I'm 1v1 on the other one. So should be smooth sailing from here. Come on, buddy. Whoops. All right, I'm gonna top off health just to be safe here. There we go. That's the attack I like to see. Take your medicine, buddy. Oh, I can't block this attack. Roll away. Jump. Boom. Jump. Boom. Could do this all day. All day, my friend. And this took hours of practice to learn how to be this effective at parrying these guys. Literally hours. I'm not kidding. I fought these guys for a long time on my first playthrough. So he's transformed now. That's fine. I can dodge his... And he has the tail whip attack as sort of his special after his transform. And we're almost done. Roll straight through that attack. Boom. All right, we're done. All right. And that's that. I know I made that look really easy. As I said, I have spent... In my first playthrough, I probably spent a grand total of like 5 or 6 hours alone on my first playthrough learning how to fight Crucible Knights. The parry method is my preferred method. There are different ways of fighting them. Black Flame actually works really well against them if you have Black Flame. And Black Flame's been buffed as of the last patch actually as well. So I want to point that out. You don't have to parry them. You can dodge, you can roll and then follow up attack. There's many ways of going about them. I've showed you kind of multiple ways when I fought the first one. But that one is tough. But you want to make sure that you summon right when you get in to split the aggro. You want to have your summon fighting one of them while you target the other. I prefer to take the spear one out first. No particular reason, but that's just kind of how I like to go about this fight. The spear ones, I think, have the easier second phase, I guess you could say. So it's easier to have him in the second phase while you have kind of the other one lingering around, I guess you could say. But for our trouble, we get Ordovis's Great Sword. And we get the Crucible set as well. So as I said, jam-packed episode. A few mishaps in the deep root depths and that secret path. As I said, it's very tough to navigate and platform throughout that area, but it is what it is. I wanted to show it to you guys. But overall, I would say a successful episode. Don't have enough to level up, and it's dark outside. I'm going to put my turtle shell back on. And guys, we're going to call it a day right here. So really appreciate y'all watching. Really appreciate y'all sticking with me. Hope you guys have found value out of this episode and out of this walkthrough in general. And really appreciate all of you guys who are following along with me. I'm really grateful for each and every single one of you. So anyways, I'll catch y'all next time. Take care of yourselves and stay tuned.